My friends, 5 great Martin Scorsese movies are celebrating key anniversaries this year, and there's no better way to do this than a marathon. First up, Raging Bull turns 45. This is one of the great boxing movies, and in my humble opinion, it's better than Rocky. A biopic on Jake LaMotta that certainly isn't a puff piece. Not all biopics are there to glorify their subject. This is a look at the downfall of a very unpleasant man, but it's all brought out with a sense of realism while still experimenting with black and white. There are moments where boxing matches are occurring, and you feel like you're actually present at the fight, almost pretty much standing in the ring with them. And a lot of that is swiftly brought out by this film's incredible cinematography and sound design. After Hours turns 40, and this is a Martin Scorsese picture that deserves more of a conversation. It's a dark comedy that looks at one very chaotic night for its main character, but even delves into a character study while doing something that Scorsese does quite a bit: treat New York City like a character all its own. Goodfellas turns 35. Not only is this my favorite Scorsese picture, it's my second favorite film of all time. This is one of the great epic mob movies that looks at 3 decades of life in the mafia. I think Bill Burr gives a great description of how this movie feels. Every scene is a closer. It's like the punchline to a really good joke. And I like to look at it as a two-part fable. The first half watches these characters bask in the glories. They think they're invincible. They're getting away with anything. And the second half brings out the consequences of the life they've chosen to live. Some have argued that Casino is basically Goodfellas 2.0, that it's Scorsese rehashing things he's done before. But I think there's a lot more to read into this. Sure, it's looking at another epic mob movie, but I like to describe it as a mafioso Julius Caesar, building an empire, and in the case of this story, mobsters running casinos in Vegas. Our main character starts to feel invincible and untouchable. Even when he has obstacles against him, he really feels he can get away with things. But then betrayal comes into play, and that is one factor that leads to the crumbling of this empire. Last but not least is Shutter Island, which turns 15. This is a Scorsese film that's actually grown on me the more I watch it. Once you've experienced its notable twist, any revisitations are really about deconstructing clues. Any experience with it actually is effective because as you're deconstructing it, you're surrounded by a very haunting, eerie atmosphere, one that brings out a great psychological thriller that certainly dabbles into horror.